Hey guys, Sean here from Momentum. Everybody wants to find out how to lose fat. Now, I'm not going to lie, everyone wants to know how you can do it without exercise. I'm going to show you how you can do it. Everybody wants to know what the secret is when it comes to fat loss. Now, honestly, it's very overcomplicated in this whole world, and it's actually simpler than you think. What I'm going to show you today is how you can start to lose fat without exercise. Now, before we get started, honestly, I am doing so much research to see what I can do to help everyone out there for free how to lose weight, how to build muscle, how to eat the food that you like, and also be the best version of yourself. So if you want to be notified every single time I release a new video, obviously please subscribe to my channel and then click the bell to get notifications. This way you'll get a notification on your phone once we release that new video and you can watch it straight away. So like I said before, fat loss is not all that complicated. If anything, it's very simple. And you can even do it without exercise. Now don't get me wrong, all the things that I'm going to show you today will work better with exercise, but you can still do it without exercising. Now, as a personal trainer for the last 10 years and also an exercise physiologist for the last 5, I've owned my own business as a personal trainer, I've owned my own business as an exercise physiologist, and now I own a studio training people how to lose weight with their clients now. And this is the reason why we are able to get really good results with my clients as well. So right now, I'm not going to talk about the exercise portion as much, because what I'm going to do is tell you how to lose weight without exercising. And in all honesty, it all starts with nutrition. So here are 5 ways that you can start to lose weight using nutrition to help you. Now you're probably thinking, where is this going to be more beneficial? This is especially beneficial for those people who can't go to the gym as often. So what you're going to do is start to look at what's going into your body. Now, as a comparison and for something for you to understand, think of this as like how you save money. Calories are like money. Everyone has a certain quota to be able to spend per day. And if you have that in mind, all these 5 tips that I'm going to give you are going to make a little bit more sense, okay? So let's get straight into it, and then you start having that in the back of your head, and I promise you everything will start to make sense. Now, if it doesn't, just comment down below. I'll be happy to help you out. Let's get started. So the first thing that you need to understand, and the first way for you to lose weight without exercising, is being in a caloric deficit. The caloric deficit means that you are eating the amount of food that you need. So this is what a caloric deficit is. And if you get lost, don't worry, a lot of people do. So say if you needed this much energy for you to maintain your body weight, you're going to eat just under here, this much, for you to be able to lose weight. And that's what a caloric deficit is. Like I said, with money we have dollars. With calories, that's the unit or the measurement that we use for energy that the food gives us. So say if you need 2,000 calories or $2,000 for you to maintain your body weight, if you ate at 1,800 calories per day, you're in a caloric deficit. Now, if you're not seeing the weight change happen or the fat loss change happen, and you say you're in a caloric deficit, the truth is you're not actually in one. You need to remeasure and start looking at the numbers for you to be able to know it. And that's where a coach is really useful, because that can take a lot of research, a lot of tools, and it can be confusing. But just know that the caloric deficit is the most important thing. Let's go to the next few tips now. So like I said, maybe you find it really hard to spend your money accordingly with such long hours. And this is where intermittent fasting can help you. So intermittent fasting, strictly, you may see it and heard of it, is 16 hours fasting, including your sleep time, and an 8-hour eating window. Now, I don't want you to think too much about this. This is how I explain intermittent fasting. So once again, if you have $2,000 and the shops are closed and only open for 8 hours of the day, it makes it easier for you to be able to save your money throughout the day. Now let's flip it the other way around. Let's say if you sleep for 8 hours and the shops are open for 16 hours, this way your $2,000 is easier to spend. This is the same as your calories. So all we're doing right now is shortening the amount of time that you have to be able to spend your calories. And this is how I explain intermittent fasting. Now, hand on my heart, I also do intermittent fast at times, and I don't look at my insulin levels. I think that overcomplicates it. So just for example, yesterday I had my friends over for dinner. We cooked something really good, like some pizzas, high protein, low carb, might I add. We had some roast beef, we had some vegetables, but throughout the day, all I did was have a coffee, have a small protein bar, had some water to tide me over, kept myself busy, and then I was able to eat a nice big feast with my friends to enjoy the company and not feel like I had to count my macros. And that's a tool that you can start to utilize. How you choose to use it, that's up to you, and you can use that with your coach as well. But what I do is I happen to have it on the days that I'm really busy, and I just don't feel like counting my macros as much. Now, it's not as accurate, but it is a tool that you can utilize. Now let's start looking at high protein diets. Now this can help you as well. Once again, being in a caloric deficit, this will help you the most. But the reason why we want to understand that it's high protein is because protein is the best macronutrient for you to keep fuller for longer. When it comes to fats, it's really good for hormones as well as brain function and also taste. And carbohydrates are what we call the simple macro. It's the one that digests the fastest without giving you the sense of satiety or fullness compared to protein. Now, protein is also one of those things that can also have a high thermogenic effect. I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but if you need to understand what that means, it means that it actually takes more energy for it to break down in the body compared to fats and carbohydrates. So you're actually using more energy to burn the energy, and it actually helps you lose fat. I hope I didn't lose you there. So this is why everyone promotes high protein based diets, keeps you fuller for longer and has a higher thermogenic effect for it to break down. So if you're not eating a high amount of protein, start to understand. Now, if you don't know how much protein to eat, once again, give us a message down below and I can give you a tip. But just for everyone out there, the general rule is 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now, saying that for some people, that'd be quite high. For example, if you're 225 pounds or 100 kilos, that's a lot of grams of protein. So then I would start to cap it around that 150 to 160, unless you really want to push between 180, which is the highest amount of protein I've seen. So you got to adjust it as well and know it, because all of these rules are just rules of thumb, which means they're not set in stone, but it does give you a good way for you to adjust if you have the knowledge and background of it. Now, before I give you the last two, I've heard of many simple diets that everyone wants to do, and that yo-yos and yo-yos and yo-yos. And I've already mentioned 3 things that can help you: the caloric deficit, high protein diets, and also intermittent fasting. Now, I don't believe all of them are key. They're just long-term solutions that can help you. They're kind of like tools in your shed. Now, saying that, I've heard some really silly things, from like only eating 500 calories no matter how heavy you are or how old you are, from only eating carbohydrates, only eating protein, only eating fats, or fasting for 2 or 3 days on the go. Now, I don't believe that's really beneficial, and even this next one I'm going to tell you is not something that I would encourage. I'm going to ask you guys out there, what's the silliest diet that you've been hearing and you're kind of sick of hearing it? Or even saying that, what's one that you've heard down below, and I'll give you my feedback on it, because there are a lot out there, and honestly, it's hard to keep up. So I'm interested to know what you've heard out there. So this next one, honestly, I'm not a big fan of it because there's a lot of context behind it, but I think it can work. And this new one that I've heard is the 1 meal a day. Now, it depends on how big the meal is, because meal is just a universal term, but it gives me a bad impression when I've first heard of it. So 1 meal a day, as it says, is eating 1 meal per day. Now, this could be breaking into intermittent fasting, and it depends on how big that meal is. So if someone's only eating like 400 calories for that 1 meal, I'm going to say no, don't do that. But say if you're fasting for the whole day and you're eating, say, your whole day's worth of macros, eating a nice high amount for you to still lose weight, I'm not so impartial about that. I actually kind of agree with it. But once again, what happens if you have other days when you have a meeting in the morning, then you have a lunch in the afternoon, and you have dinner at night? Are you missing out? Especially with Christmas coming around the corner, you have Christmas breakfast, Christmas lunch, Christmas dinner. Are you just going to cancel out breakfast and lunch and then only focus on dinner? Once again, you're going to be missing out. So utilizing tools is what I like. And it's all about sustainability as well. Are you giving up something in your lifestyle which is not really sustainable? So once again, this 1 meal a day, it kind of works. It can work with the concept of a caloric deficit, intermittent fasting, and also high protein. And this is where nutrition can get really tricky. So once again, make sure you do your research when you understand this. I did a little bit of research on 1 meal a day, and I can really start to think how it can be useful, but it can also really limit you as well. So the last way that you can start to lose weight without exercising is obviously going to be in a caloric deficit. But the last one I'm going to use is going to be more so about a tool that you can utilize with all the previous four, and it is to eat with high volume based foods. Now, for those of you who don't know what high volume based foods mean, it means eating foods that you can eat in big amounts with less calories. It's the opposite of calorie dense, or the opposite of eating a burger. I'm not saying don't eat burgers, because I love burgers, but it's about how do you keep yourself fuller for longer so you don't feel like you need to grab another meal. So let's say you're hitting your macros for the day, 1,800 protein, carbs and fats, and you're still hungry. So what do we do from there? Now don't get me wrong, everybody has different amounts of protein, carbs and fats, and also macros to hit, but this is just for an example's sake. What do you do to hit or keep yourself fuller for longer? Now you can start to utilize things like drinking water, drinking tea, and maybe even saying that if you're really that hungry, you might actually need to talk to your coach going, hey look, what do we need to do to help me actually keep fuller for longer? You might be eating less, but we're talking about volume foods here. So when I talk about volume foods, we're thinking about things that keep you fuller for longer. And I love eating things like lots of vegetables, because that has very little macronutrients, very good vitamins, minerals and fiber, keeps your belly fuller for longer. And this is what I want everyone to understand. You can grab a cheeseburger, which is going to keep you full for all but maybe 1 hour. But if you also have a good serving of vegetables on the side, and you know what you're doing with the macros and protein obviously, then you can start feeling fuller for longer for the long term, and that gives you more sustainability. Now the biggest thing I want everyone to understand is please do not do any crash or yo-yo diets. Everything I want to try and teach you is all about sustainability, either long-term changes or learning for you to be able to enjoy your lifestyle with your friends and your family, because food is such an important factor. It's not just energy, it's also cultural, it's also emotional, and also it's about memories as well. There are some foods that just help you feel better for longer because it has a good memory with it. So this is what I want everyone to learn. How do you start to use all of that food to help you feel good internally, emotionally should I say, and also physically to actually fuel you for longer with your training? And this is what we want to be able to do for you guys. So if you want to know more about what we do at Momentum, head down to the link down below and you can start to see and apply for coaching with us. We do online coaching to help everybody with what we can, from nutrition, mindset, exercises from home, in the gym, anywhere. We have a solution for you because our job is to actually work around your lifestyle and help you with your problem that you have. So if you want to know more about that, apply for online coaching down below. If not, you can also download the ebook to the Momentum Method down there. And this starts to go into more further detail what we actually do for you. Like I said though, if you don't want to do any of that, just head over to our channel. We've got lots of videos that we want you to watch and help you out for absolutely free. All we ask is that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again everybody, keep building momentum, and if you need any help, reach out to me.